What a difference a day makes. 24 little hours. Welcome back to the Walkie Talkie Traveller channel. We're still in Kamyanets, Podilsky. This is the second full day and quite a sharp contrast to what we had yesterday in terms of the weather. Clear blue sky, brilliant sunshine. And I'll tell you what, this church, which I had a little peep into yesterday, is rather active and busy. It's not the weekend, but stuff is going on there. I wouldn't mind popping in when there's nobody else around, so I'm not intruding, just to do a little more filming and also to see with my own eyes what the interior decor is like, because it's very pretty from what I've seen. That will have to wait. Just in front of the church is what I think is a path which leads all the way to the fortress. Let's see, because yesterday I had a surprise. I wasn't expecting to find a bridge which would take me over the river to the base of the fortress. An enchanted forest path. I'm surprised there are steps, even if they're broken. I think I'd be more surprised if there were steps and they weren't broken, if that makes any sense. Yes. Oh, I don't like the look of this. You know why? All that downward motion means at some point we've got to come up again. If this does indeed lead to the fortress, I could be on a fool's errand. And there wouldn't be any surprise in that, would there? Right, I think what I'll say to you now is I'll see you at the bottom, because this could go on for a while. And then I came to a bridge with brown running water and quite a few mosquito-y, buggy flying things. Glad I've got my long sleeve shirt on today. This looks like we could be in France, doesn't it? Or Italy. But we're not. We're in western Ukraine. In Podilsky, the old historic region of which Kamyanets Podilsky gets half its name from, and is also one of the main cities, although officially we're in modern day Khmelnytsky Oblast, Khmelnytsky County, with Khmelnytsky being the largest, most prominent city. I'm thinking about where to go after I've visited my friends in the village, and Khmelnytsky is one of the sort of obvious places to go. Also the proximity of Moldova, of course, which I've never been to yet. One of the few places around this part of the world where I haven't visited. We'll see. Still got to survive the village, haven't I? We've got some steps to take us up, or do we want to take this path? I've lost my bearings. I've got no idea where the fortress is, other than it's somewhere on this side of the river. I think I should go up here. Whether my buttocks and thighs thank me for making this decision at the end of the day remains to be seen. Let's go. Top of the stairs brings us to kitty cat country. There's one just running off down there. And there's another one calmly lying under the sun, but keeping me under very close observation. Hello, kitty cat. I told you it was kitty cat country, didn't I? I could be going in a bit of a roundabout way here. There are some paths leading off, left and right. Some tracks which, of course, there's no signposting. Hello, kitty cat. Oh, disturb them. Kitten country. Hello, Smokey. He's not nervous of not no one. Ooh, what's this we got here? Back end of a church. I'm getting the feeling that that could be the old town up there, you know. And, oh, got to get a bit closer to this one, haven't we? Nice looking church. Unfortunately, there's a chain of command, so to speak. It's commanding you to not go any further. They're laying paving stones outside the church, and they don't want people like me crossing that chain, obviously, so I won't. Got that starry miasto feeling coming over me. We got another kitty cat here, sleeping on the windowsill. And over here we've got a museum which looks as though it's all about the history of the old Podilia region. So the region as a whole, rather than just specifically Kamyanets Podilsky. Looks as though it may be a nice one. Oh, careful with the traffic, kitten. 40 grivna admission. That won't break the bank, will it? Do I have the time? I might come back to this one. And I've still got tomorrow as well, remember. Let's press on towards the fortress. We've got St.Trinian Cathedral, something to do with St.Trinians. The old castle, the Ruthenian Gate. This way, St. Nicholas's Church, and the Armenian Trade Storage, or Storage, military barracks. Oh. Swan Lake. You can hear the music, you can see the swans. Oh, the girls dressed as swans. I doubt that there's a ballet being performed there, but on some occasions it's quite possible, I imagine. Holy Trinity Church and the building of Ruthenian Magistrate. Well, I'll tell you what I'm inclined to do. I don't want to get distracted, but it's just so close, isn't it? It's so close. Let's have a look at this St. Nicholas's Church. If you're watching, Nick the Australian, they've named a church after you yet again. First Australian saint. Or was he? Have there been any or many Australian saints? Don't know. The camera's jumping around all over the place as I'm bouncing up and down on these uneven cobblestones. Perhaps the pavement with broken slabs is a little smoother walk. I've been looking into this Ruthenian business because I thought it keeps cropping up and I really ought to look into who were the Ruthenians. And it seems Ruthenian was a word to cover basically all Eastern Slavic peoples. And that predominantly meant Ukrainians and Belarusians historically, but also included some others. So Ruthenians weren't a separate people as I thought they might be. It was a sort of overarching descriptive word. Top turret is a bit cockeyed, a bit askew, but I don't mind that. Probably all that pigeon activity up there. That's what causes the turret to go a bit askew over several hundred years. Gates open. It would be rude not to, wouldn't it? Oh joy, more steps. Oh, I shouldn't complain. I'm glad to be a lot more mobile than I was yesterday. Oh, keeps me mobile, Keeps me flexible, stops me stiffening up. You wouldn't want to see an old man stiffening up, would you? Of course you wouldn't. If I seize up and petrify before you, that would be a grim sight indeed. We've got the basic outline at floor level, at ground level, of another building. Maybe the main church, and this is just a remaining tower. Seems logical, doesn't it? History of Kamyanets Podilsky is rich with blood and war and outrage. It was first mentioned 1,000 years ago, when the town was village, hamlet, whatever it was back then. Perhaps a little wooden fortification and a few farmsteads nearby. Came under the stewardship of Kiev. Doesn't seem to get a lot of mention in history for the next 300 years until the Mongols come along and destroy everything. Because that's what they did. They seem to get off lightly, don't they, in history, the Mongols? Nobody seems to harbour a grudge anymore against them. With all the murder and rape. A surprise to me, anyway. What do you hear about Mongols? Oh, I'd love to open a yurt gîte farm in France. Or, have you heard that Mongolian throat singing? It's like nothing. It's such an outer-worldly experience. Oh, you have to hear it live. And, oh, I went horseback riding in the steppes. Across the steppes and then on through Mongolia. And of course I slept in yurts. But I don't want to give Mongols a hard time. I know it was a long time ago. 700 years. And if the locals have forgiven you, I've got no beef with you. Yes, after the Mongols, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth took ownership, and Polish kings responsible for most of the considerable stonework building that we see today in the fortress. But from the name of the Armenian Gate or Armenian Bastion, for example, and Turkish Bastion, there were obviously other people who came through here. The Ottoman Empire for a time held sway here. And of course, Ukrainian people tried to free themselves from the growing domination from Russia, as Russia emerged into a state. And Kamyanets Podilsky, believe it or not, was even the capital, sort of temporary capital of Ukraine when the Russian communists invaded Kiev and took the city, 1919, 1920. Although historically most of the population seems to have been Polish and Ukrainian in the past, there were a sizable number of Jewish people living here. The only number to get any sort of idea of that population any time in history that I saw was sadly in 1941, when the Germans came, Second World War of course. Over a matter of just 2 days, Germans, aided by Ukrainian police, murdered 23,000 Jewish people. It beggars belief, doesn't it? It shouldn't beg a belief, because sadly this is repeated in many other places as well, of course. Here's another church just off the old town, which is undergoing renovation at the moment. My nose is twitching I think at the end of this road I might get... Oh, I thought I was going to get a big wave of deja vu come over me, and I didn't. That takes me by surprise. Yeah, I'm thinking it's that away, straight ahead. Seems logical, doesn't it? Hello. Ukrainian national cycling team, perhaps. The juniors here for training. Maybe. Let's head towards the fortress. Enough of this nonsense and horseplay. Thought I was stepping into the grounds of a church. But not a church. It's a memorial to those who died in 1944, it seems. Straight across the road, there is definitely a church. Here we are, getting a bit of a closer view. The information board over here should tell us a little bit more in Ukrainian and in English. The church was built of stone in the Baroque style in 1750. Between 1750 and 1765. It is located in the southwestern part of the old town. The construction of a building was carried out on voluntary donations. Restoration works carried out between 1977 and 1984. So this is St.Trinians, the Trinitarsky Cathedral. Just trying my best there not to disturb a lady who was doing her praying thing. So I didn't go in any further. Oh, a nice cool breeze and a beautiful garden. I really am getting another sense of I'm in southern Europe. There is a nice mosaic there, but oh, go on, I'll treat you. Blimey. I'll treat you, he says. Consider yourself treated. Even though the camera doesn't show the fortress in such a stunning manner as I espied it suddenly then, with my own little pinkies. My little pinky peepers.